Hello and welcome to Dungeons and Dragons: A Darkened Wish, Season 2, Episode 9. Red Sky at night, Sailor's Delight. Red Sky in the morning, Sailor's Warning. Let's meet our heroes. And again, I'm going to call you all out on the order that you are on my screen, which may or may not be the order you are on Twitch. So we're going to start with Superstar Twin Sensation, Aki.
Hi everyone, I'm Aki and I'm playing your twin clerics, Kerrin and Karrin.
Alcuin.
Hey, I'm Alcuin Gersh and I'm playing Rayonde, the Dragonborn monk.
Sam.
Hey, I'm your Sailor's Delight and the one your parents warned you about, Asmar Rogue Aiden.
You know, I feel that was one of those effortless perfection type things. I just put that one out there, and there was just D'Artagnan.
Hello, I'm D'Artagnan Mattaliano, and I play the human fighter Xander.
And I love it every time you say that because I'm like, you fight more than humans, and then I'm like, oh no, you mean he is a human who is a fighter, right?
I'm constantly fighting myself, who is human. That's the real dynamic.
Hashtag meta, hashtag too real. Yeah. Hashtag art imitating life. And last but certainly not least, May.
Hi there. I am Mayleigh Damage, and I am playing Helene, the human wizard.
I'm like, but you wizard more than humans. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't. Yeah, we'll workshop it. That was not me. It's true. You're like, no, but I wizard dragons and I wizard mind flayers. And also thank you to Q Times for hosting us, even though you all are watching us on twitch.tv/D&D. It is the infrastructure and production capabilities of Q Times that makes this possible. So thank you, Q Times. As independent content creators, we rely both on your generosity in the form of bits and tips, but also in supporting our sponsors who make this show possible. First and foremost is D&D Beyond. A digital tool set that has almost everything that you need to be able to play the game. We use it for all of our characters. Character sheets, spell trackers, monster trackers, initiative. Now there's dice built into it. It will be the first place that you can get the upcoming Rime of the Frostmaiden supplement when it is released. And they just released a new players app for your mobile device, which is much better than the old app. So hey, maybe if you tried D&D Beyond in the past and you were like, try the new app. It is legit dope. Dogmite Games, who makes a ton of kick-ass gaming supplies, including my beloved DM screen, which I long to play behind once more, once, society restarts. Level Up Dice, that are makers of fine luxury gaming accoutrement. That I break but didn't spill. Look at that. They also make good dice bags that are apparently me-proof. You can get them in all sorts of amazing stones, even jewels. They will make custom dice if you got something you want dice made out of. So, if you think of something wild, tell me. Make sure you tag me in it. I do have an affiliate link for Level Up Dice, which is bit.ly.com/LUDB Dave Walters. And last but certainly not least, Games for Love. Games for Love is a 501c3 kindness-oriented charity aimed at easing the suffering of children. The pandemic has come down pretty hard on kids with compromised immune systems, and they've been quarantined, kept apart from their family and their loved ones. And so we're raising money for things like gaming peripherals, Switches, controllers, Xboxes, PlayStation, so they can feel a little more connected. Every $10 directly impacts the lives of 2 children. Now, with that being said, it has occurred to me that I think the last couple of weeks, I haven't even given a nod to play our intro video because we have one. I don't even know if Q Times cues it up anymore because me being a big old goofball, I just kind of keep saying words. So I'm just kind of stalling here for them to get in position with the intro. Now, on with our story. When last we met, our heroes had journeyed to an unusual place after they'd encountered the paladin Celise, who offered her prayers up to the god Tyr to rescue them from a colossal spidery menace, to free this creature both from her curse, but also to free them from instant death. Our heroes awoke Karrin, Kerrin, and Helene first in the clutches of Nebula in Depth. What they established very quickly were they were on the planet Abir, when they were offered a very simple exchange: either join us or at least stay out of our way. Our work is going to proceed no matter what. You can't stop it. You can either be a part of it, but at least don't be an impediment to it, and we will leave you alone. Before they were able to render their answer to Nebula in Depth, after very skillfully, might I add, suing for time to think about it and discuss it with their friends, they were struck by a bright and blinding light, which brought them forward into the court of the great god Tyr and reunited with their friends. Tyr essentially spoke with all of you, gauging your own hearts and spirits, encouraging you gently to speak up and share how you really felt, and giving a glimpse into possible futures that await all of you. You saw branching potentialities, some of great glory and happiness, some of extreme chaos and ruin. And at the end, Tyr said, essentially, the gods cannot do for mortals what mortals must do for themselves, and he cannot give you what you haven't earned. He could, however, let you borrow something from yourselves and give you a chance to right wrongs, telling you that you could go and fight and try and save two worlds, both Abir and Toril, from the impending forced reunification, or you could simply go home and there would be no shame and no disgrace in sitting out a literally interplanetary conflict. But Tyr did warn you, the next time you go home will be the last time you go home. After discussing this matter amongst yourselves, you, being the heroes you are, of course, chose to take up the sword and go forth, and Tyr transported you back to Abir, but this time things had changed slightly. You all found yourselves enhanced. You had different equipment, you had different skills, different arcane incantations sprung into your mind, and you'd accessed a power that you'd never experienced before, and immediately set upon defeating a large, dare I say, gargantuan white dragon that was sleeping guarding some sort of bizarre arcane conduit. You all easily smashed this creature, which would have been certain death if you'd fought it previously, but was nothing to you all. And Nebula appeared again, her face in this bizarre, energetic tether that you all were witnessing. You told her you would politely decline her invitation to side and also decline her invitation to stay out of it, in which case she offered you a new invitation to come and join her in the citadel of burning ice of the great Titan Karshimus. And that is where we will pick back up again. You all standing here in front of this arcane tether of some sort as her face dissipates here on a windswept plain in the hellscape that is the planet of Abir.
Oh, here we go. You guys okay?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I think we have to be.
We're not actually going to go meet this person, are we? Are we?
Do you have a better option? Do you see another option? I think we might have to. And where's Rayonde?
I'm just taking in the scenery. It's dramatic.
Just stay close to me.
Yeah.
And I'd slide my hand in Rayonde's.
As you all sort of give each other a a cursory once over, you all look much different. You all look older. Xander's got new and different scars, including 3 ragged scars all the way across his face like tiger stripes. You notice, however, your gear is worn. You know, it fits perfectly. The leather is situated and well cared for, except Rayonde. Everything he is wearing looks brand new. He looks absolutely pristine, as if he'd just been removed from a glass case or something. While the rest of you look clearly worn, he looks pristine.
I'm also a bit put out by this robe. I don't know why I would wear this.
What does Rayonde look like currently?
He's wearing something that's the same cut as the traditional kind of robe, sort of kimono thing that he wears, but it's the one that he's wearing now is made out of, looks like sailcloth or something like that. But it also, like, it's stitched in the way that people who would know about sea burial, that it's basically like a shroud, like it's like an opened up sort of shroud. Yeah, it's, again, you know, like I was hoping that as I got older, I would branch out, maybe wear a little more color.
No, I always knew deep down that you were a robe person. I could kind of sense it.
Not the robe, Xander, like the color. It's like a funerary robe.
I mean,
It's a good look.
We could always dye it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It seems weird if you look at it in the light. It's we'll come over here and touch it.
I go to touch it.
All right. When you do, go ahead.
No, please. No, you describe it.
When you do, your hand goes through nothing, and you see that Rayonde is in fact standing a few feet to the side of where you just put your hand. And it goes like, over here, mate, over here. What's wrong with you? This is scary, mate.
Are you playing jokes on us?
It's not me, it's the robe.
I keep
Still,
trying
this
to
has been very useful.
let's run in circles trying to touch it.
You find Xander. You every once in a while you try, and then you'll catch him, and he's there. And then it's sort of like you let go, and then he's not there again. Like he's just like always just like slightly off from where you found him until you kind of can like get him and hold him there, and then he's gone again.
I don't like these games.
It does seem it's kind of fun having a companion that can just like disappear and be somewhere else, though, Xander. Actually, that seems pretty novel. It'd be like if you had like a dog and you could like play fetch and the dog would just be over there. Like that'd be dope.
Well, when you bring it in with the dog, of course I would want that.
So it looks like you're kitted out too in the future.
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything because of your robe, but it looks pretty nice.
What's all this? And I sort of pat, on the shoulders.
It's like looks like actually, it's the splint. Does that change? It's just like but like athletic build, I guess you could say. Like there's not all of it's plate. Some of it's like just like the Under Armour, I guess, with the chainmail underneath, so you can be like athletic with it.
Yeah, it's you could definitely see that he's arranged more for mobility than just defense. However, you, Rayonde, especially recognize something, having gotten close to it. There are strange sigils that are marked in it that you saw in the Underdark when you were in Cephalithid's custody in the Mind Flayers underground city. Like it's been enchanted or modified somehow, what he's wearing.
Okay, but this is strange though. I can read this, and I can actually read this now because if I'm level 17, I have Tongue of the Sun and Moon, so I have basically comprehend languages all the damn time. So tell me what it says, Dungeon Master.
When you read, I'm like, oh ho ho. When you read it, it's essentially, don't touch my stuff. It is mental protection as well as physical protection to stop something of value from the Mind Flayers essentially being taken over by some other Mind Flayer. It's like stay out of his mind, essentially.
So it seems like the
It
inscription
definitely says, "Don't touch my stuff." That's what.
Yeah, that's what it says in Illithid. It says, "Don't touch my stuff." tentacles off. But yeah, this should.
What does the one on my back say?
It says sweet.
Dude,
It says sweet.
I wonder who could have given you that.
I don't know, but I feel pretty amazing in it, to be honest.
I mean, it's covered in elvish scroll work, so who knows who it could have been who gave you that. And I look over at Kerrin.
Oh, you mean Karrin?
No,
Yes.
you mean Kerrin.
No, I know which one. I know which one's which.
I know.
Xander's the one who's confused.
It just means he thinks we're both cute.
Not wrong.
I can see that.
I don't see.
I think that Karrin just elbows Kerrin really hard when they say that.
What about you, Aiden? Oh my goodness.
Hey, I mean, look, there's only so much of an upgrade we could possibly have given where we were starting. But I got the new sword. It's the new nice. We like it. We're fans of it. And of course, I pass behind Kerrin, flip my hood up, and what's an Aiden? Like, you can't see him. What's an Aiden? Try looking for an Aiden. You can't really look for an Aiden. It's not a good idea. It will not lead to success for you.
Secretly, I'm like extremely surprised on my face, not impressed. So.
You also notice that he's wearing really nice clothes, like really nice clothes. This is like leathers and silks and everything. It's very functional, still very lethal, but he's kind of like, he looks like an assassin model.
So I flip my hood back and I'm right behind and next to Xander, put my arm around him. So finally, I'm living the lifestyle to which I've always wanted to become accustomed. The future is bright for me.
I will say this though, Xander, especially as you get close to your friend, he's nearly white as a sheet though now. Like that just discoloration you've seen over time, he's nearly ghostly with like intense dark black circles around his eyes. And you can make out a small ridge on his on the sides of his temples rather, that you can't quite, like every once in a while the light reflects on it slightly, but they're kind of inset into his skin. It's more like they're carved than colorful.
I like hold Aiden's face. I'm like, oh, buddy, you need to get some rest. You got some dark circles here.
Hey, don't be like that. Come on.
I worry for you.
Maybe I'm just that busy succeeding constantly. No time for sleep.
Of course. That's typical avoiding sleep to steal some coin, Aiden.
I'm shocked, sir, at the implication that I might be doing crime in my future. Clearly, these were all legitimate business earnings.
I mean, you look incredibly fancy, and we all know your sticky fingers. So I'm just saying, I'm not trying to jump to conclusions, but
I think he looks great.
Oh, yeah, that's no doubt.
Thank you, Kerrin.
I'm just saying, I'm curious at where that came from.
Is it any of our business?
Maybe from this, and I'd like to just hold up your coin purse.
I'm like, all right.
I mean, this is a good thing. Aiden's clearly very successful in the future. I mean, you've always been fashionable, and now you've got the gold to back it up.
Hey, y'all are all someday invited to stay at my estate whenever you like, that I will clearly someday obtain.
Well, speaking of fashionable and beautiful, you look really good too, Helene.
Oh, thank you. I quite like this. I feel like the big sleeve thing works. Lot more coins I'm got going on up here too. My collection's grown. And then well, this old thing. And she pulls a staff off of her back that is like gold and has a little trill up at the top, and it is the staff of the Magi.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know what that is. What is the staff of the Magi?
sounds pretty impressive though.
Well, she's a Magi and she has a staff now. I mean, it seems pretty straightforward to me. I don't know why you two don't get it.
More magic. I can more fire, more death dealing, more all in all awesomeness.
Of course, Aiden and I, we both knew that.
Of course,
Yeah.
obviously. So speaking of Magi, how do we Magi our way out of this?
Excuse me, you have missed two other very important people. What do our illustrious clerics, Karrin and Kerrin, look like currently?
So they're both now wearing really, really nice leathers, and their tone, their general like tone has gotten a little bit darker, I guess. It's a little bit more functional. There's still some flowiness to the nobility of the whole thing. And I know that it's called a necklace of prayer beads, but I like it better that like it's actually like a thin, like kind of like necklace. You know how some people like to turn their necklaces to circlets? Like it's kind of that. Each of them has 2 beads that, go around their forehead, making a total of 4 because that's how many I rolled out of character. And then I would like to think that it's Karrin that carries the sword. But there is like this nice gleaming short sword at Karrin's hip now. But yeah, overall, a little less airs of nobility, a little bit more functioning like warcaster type fighter clerics.
A little less conversation, a little more action. I like it.
Yes, indeed. Because all this aggravating wasn't satisfying, factioning them.
That's a good look.
And yes, as you sort of stand there kind of taking each other in satisfactorily, and Aiden says, well, what are we going to do? You sort of notice there is still this mystical tether right here next to you. You killed the dragon that was defending it, but that in and of itself did not disrupt whatever this is.
Can I do an arcane check on it? See if I know anything about it or how to use it, or...
You absolutely can. You can all roll Arcana, or anyone that wishes to.
I was actually thinking maybe I could give Helene advantage with an assist, but unless
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got 27, so I would say save it.
Well,
All right.
no,
you might roll the natural 20.
That, yeah. No, the assist doesn't cost them anything. It's just they're helping you, and it could be a 20. So
is that
I will.
Advantage?
Yeah, you just roll again. Roll twice and take the higher one. Yes.
I will opt to forego my examination in lieu of an extended "what the heck we slayed a dragon" handshake. With Xander. It has about 8 parts.
A big one. Like, I mean, like this is the biggest
bigger than
you all have even seen. Yeah, and you guys killed it like literally in about 18 seconds. It really was just like screw you guys and boom, and it was dead. Yeah.
We gotta get like a tooth or a claw or something like Memoria.
This. What's going on?
It takes longer to do the handshake than it took to kill the dragon.
And I need fan art of that. Internet. I need fan art of the bro out in front of the dead dragon. Yes, Helene. What'd you get there?
It's still 27. I rolled an 8 the second time.
It's true, right? Helene, as you're looking at this here, the old you would have been like, I don't know, just that because you've seen them doing these things before, and you were like, portal magic. But as you're looking at it now, a new level of comprehension is sort of swirling around in your mind as the magic just starts to make a little more sense. You realize that yes, this is a tether of some sort, and there is information flowing back and forth to here. You feel like this spot here is being linked to a specific spot on Toril, your planet.
So guys, I think this portal's linking it's information back and forth. It's a link between here and our planet, Toral.
Oh, well, let's hop in and write it out then.
That's how it works, right?
Probably would
That
be
I'm not sure
fun.
of.
Let's see. I run into it.
You went first. It's usually Helene. Things have
Hey,
changed.
wisdom is knowledge multiplied by
No
experience.
fear, baby.
Xander, give me a wisdom save, and you can roll with advantage because of your plate. I appreciate also Tyr was like, hey, go here and save the world. And you guys are like, okay, wait, can we go back with that? Yeah, all right, bye.
My bad. I was on mute. I got 19. Does that kill me? Or maybe not?
Xander, is you're like, yeah, no problem. Let's just see where this goes. And it's you do feel different, Xander. In your life, you've done plenty of reckless things, and honestly, more often than not, you spent your time just like worried about them and worried about everyone. But you just feel different. It's not foolishness. You're just like, well, this is the job. Okay, let's do it. And as you reach out and touch it, you feel this energy flow through you, and it threatens to overwhelm you at first, honestly. And you feel the breastplate that you're wearing actually like locks on you and feels very cold. It's like it almost like it snaps you back, like somebody throwing water in your face to wake you up. Like right when you're like, ugh, it's like, and you see a network of these things. There's maybe dozens of them spread out all over the place. You can see oceans, and you can see mountains and towns. For the most part, they're all rooted in places that are somewhere outside of civilization. You can see where there was one to be dropped just outside of Waterdeep that you all disrupted. You can see on the other end of this one, it is in a forest somewhere with a gargantuan black dragon coiled around the base of it to stop anyone from interfering with it. But you can see that all of them flow back towards a giant citadel of fire and ice that is almost incomprehensibly big. It's the size of the continent itself. It's like if somebody had taken a full kingdom and made it a giant citadel built up out of that is made out of ice and somehow fire at the same time. And many of these conduits are all flowing into it, and you get the distinct impression that something from that place is both generating and receiving all the power all at once. It's like the engine and whatever's being done here. And as you are looking through it, and a pair of very cold blue eyes just appear.
Like in front of me?
Mm-hmm. And they open and they look at you. Like, what are you doing here?
What are you doing here? Why are you looking at me with your eyes?
You seek to interfere in matters millennia in the making. Depart now or be destroyed. And when it says destroyed, your hand like shoots off of this. To you all, he just touched it and went, like it shocked him.
Ooh.
Was it hot?
Cool. And
You're
cold. A little bit both, actually.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. So I think there's something definitely in there. There's like this giant citadel thing, a few other like tethers that I guess, right? This little road to other worlds, basically. And then there's like dragons that are guarding each one. And in the center, it seems like the power is emanating and being received in it as well. And then there's like these two eyeballs that looked at me and told me I was going to get destroyed if I kept looking in here. and then it is at me, and now I'm here. So maybe that is not the way to go, or, which I think is probably the more likely answer, it is the way to go.
Yeah, that's always the way we don't want to go.
Can we get to that place using this tether? Because if not, we have another way we can get there.
Is it some really, really fancy magic?
Maybe.
Ooh, let's do that.
Yeah, I'd prefer your magic than whatever.
Well,
this
unless
is.
we have to kill like 18 more dragons, in which case they have to save their really fancy magic for like other really fancy magic that they do.
I will say, Helene, with your 27 in the Arcana check, I mean that's pretty significant. 30 is an impossible task. You've seen Nebula and Depth travel with these things. You think travel is possible. You're not sure you could travel with precision, though. Like you could like leave here and end up somewhere, but
when our friends Nebula, when they've used them, I've seen them travel through these. It should be possible, but I don't think we can do it like as precisely as if we use Karrin and Kerrin's plan. But I do like the idea of maybe just, save up because we really don't know what's on the other side.
Well, the only problem with that is if we don't know where we're going, we don't know where we'll end up. And that could also end badly.
It's true. That sounds suspiciously like an adventure. Shall we?
Think we should.
I could argue, but we're going to do what we always do. The most dangerous thing.
That's a man. Yeah, let's go for it.
That being said, Helene is right. Anyone who's not a caster should probably stick close to a caster. And vice versa, anyone who isn't a fighter should probably stick close to a fighter.
I stick close to Kerrin.
Yeah, I'm going to grab Helene's hand and look at her and be like, let's do this.
I go to.
You got it.
What did you say? Hey,
That's why I made a joke the first time, and then I said I go to Karrin.
Okay. Did you say I go to Kerrin the first time?
No, I said Karrin.
Okay.
I just over Kerrin's shoulder mouth to Xander. That one's Karrin.
Karrin. Yes. I got it.
And off we go.
it's awkward. Yeah. So what is it that you all are doing?
We're going to use the tether because, that's how we do.
Can we, please?
Yes. No, I'm just trying to figure out how we're going to do this mechanically. Give me straight Arcana, Helene. Even I appreciate your restraint there, Aiden.
I was a natural one.
So, dear fans, we only play with one house rule here, and that is a 20 is always a success, and a 1 is always a failure. So you all gather around, and Helene, you're like, no problem. This can't be that difficult. Cool. Staff of the Magi. I'm gonna just everybody like hold on to my hair. Dink, and you all feel yourself being pulled, and you did go through a portal once before outside Waterdeep, but this is a much different experience. You feel yourself scattered and ping-ponged across not just the worlds, but across time and across the planes. You see oceans and mountains and fire and ice. You see giants and dragons. You see space, and then you see darkness. All of you.
Not bad for my first shot. Right, guys?
Where are we?
None of
No
you
idea.
hear her. You don't hear each other.
Hello?
Do we hear each other?
Hello?
All of you give me perception check.
Oh, God.
Hello?
My passive's 28. now.
Aiden, not only is your passive high enough, but you've been here before. You know a jail cell when you find one.
Not again.
Yeah, my passive is 20. I don't know.
I got a 24 on my check.
No, do make the check. 28 is high enough that it's Aiden doesn't miss much.
Yeah, my perception's only a 17 with the roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Helene. Helene, you killed them all, clearly. Like I mean, like you're here alone and they're not. Like this is your like everyone's dead. Like they're all dead.
I just kind of sit on the ground and like cross my arms and just kind of like shake a little bit for a second.
17 for Xander.
What have I done?
You all, each of you, find yourselves in a room with no doors. The walls are all white, and there is a thin bluish veneer on them that feels like flames. Aiden, you do hear Rayonde's voice saying hello somewhere nearby. So you know he's close, you know he's alive. But in each of your rooms, worms start to crawl along the floor. And all of you hear the same voice. You all are reckless and predictable. It is why you are doomed to fail. I grant you my choice now. Obedience or a trial by combat. You do not hear each other, but each of you hear that in your cell.
Does he know who we are? I don't think he does.
I will fight you right now.
Combat! Fight me, you coward!
Oh yeah, no. I'm definitely gonna fight you if I can't figure my way out of this first. This is not my first jail cell, and damned if I'm gonna let this one defeat me.
Helene?
Oh, she just summons a fireball.
It's like, fine, we have prepared specially for this exact moment. And at the risk of making this as complicated as I possibly can for myself, a few things happen. Inside your cage, inside of all of your cages, honestly, a number of unusual creatures start to appear, which, again, through the wonder of technology, I will put in our chat for you to see, even as I describe for our friends at home. Xander, a huge, almost impossibly large creature with cruelly rippling muscles appears in front of you and a maddening grin on its face with long ears and incredibly sharp teeth and yellow eyes appears in front of you. Its skin strains and stretches over its muscles and in fact just tears in places just from its own gargantuan size. Rayonde, you see a creature appear in front of you that looks like perhaps it could have maybe been an orc of some sort at some time. At first you think it's undead, but you realize it's breathing. It's very much alive, but it is a pale and sickly green with what looks like some sort of decrepit, decaying rash or illness around it, like or like something is eating away at it, but it stands there with its sword looking at you. Aiden, you get a creature that is actually about half your size, that is stooped down to the ground with 4 arms, all holding daggers in it, that just giggles slightly when it sees you. Karrin and Kerrin, you see the mass of worms begins to form up on the floor in front of you into the form of depth. In Helene, you see Nebula steps out with a wonderful smile on her face, even as a gargantuan tongue licks the lips across the huge mouth on her belly and says, "Before we get started, are you sure you don't want to surrender?" Everybody roll initiative.
I actually have a question, DM,
Yules,
before we go
Yules,
forward. I'm guessing we
Yules.
didn't have the chance to long rest or any of that good stuff, or did we?
Because this is it was a divine intervention from Tyr. I'm gonna say that he gave you a curve on that first fight with the dragon.
I got a natural 20 this time. The dice taketh away, and then the dice give it back.
I will.
That's
I will
true.
take that long rest. Thank you very much.
I got a natural 20 as well.
I'm cute.
All right, hold on a second. Let's that's true. Hang on. Let's see. Let me get all this ready. Helene 20, Xander 20. All right. For this, okay, and then for the sake of ease and just making this easy on myself, your opponents are essentially going to act when you guys act. Aiden
15.
15, Karrin and Kerrin,
17.
Rayonde.
12.
All right. Ironically enough, except for Xander, that is legit the exact same order you guys were in the last time. Very consistent crew. You know each other well. Helene, you see Nebula standing there in front of you, and she says, "It isn't necessary for you to die here today, my girl." And you see when she says that, she's like the air around her kind of distorts a little bit, which it hasn't done when you've seen her in the past. It's just like you can see something is going on around her. She says, "In our glorious new world, we will have room for brilliant, powerful rulers under Lord Karshimus. Even in his wisdom and power, he cannot see the entirety of two worlds. He will need queens."
You. I don't know. There's something wrong with you. And I shoot Sunburst
All right.
at whatever this is that I now kind of think is like a hologram or something.
Is that a save or it's like, do you attack or does she have a save?
Let us see, because I don't think I've cast this one before.
It's
This is a
new
con
thing
save.
now. Okay. What's the number
19.
she needs to be? Okay. She does make that save. But is it a half damage or is it all or nothing? Again, they just got bumped up 5 levels, you all. So yeah, it's gonna take a second to like read through and everything they can possibly do here.
You take half damage and you're not blinded.
Okay, you can go ahead and roll that damage. She, for her part, when you do this, just looks at you and says, well, we're doing violence then. And she has her own staff, Helene, and she just like reaches out and you fear a bolt of heat go right through you. And Helene, you have to give me a con save.
That was 21 damage.
Mm-hmm.
And do I have a modifier to that? I rolled a 15. Let me see.
I don't think she does.
On saving, I have a +3. So
on your con?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So you rolled a what?
Oh wait, now I got the dice confused because I have like 3 d20s here. It was a 14, I think. I went on a 14 and 15 sitting right next to me, and I'm like, oh crap. We'll go with the lower one.
All right, let me just double check something on your sheet here.
Yay, new spells.
Yes, new spells. But when you blast her and she says, we're doing violence, and you feel a jolt go through you and your entire body goes rigid, Helene. Like your fists clench on the staff and like you cannot move. And she goes, poor girl. Xander, it is your turn.
How much room do I have to work with in this tiny sail with the giant man?
It's tall enough for him, so it's kind of like 12 by 12.
12 by 12?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. What is
He just looks at you like, yeah.
You are a psycho.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Nebula. So remember, Nebula looks like she's just made out of swirling star stuff, except for the gargantuan mouth on her torso. She actually would be very beautiful to look at, with her vaguely feminine form and her like nice voice, but she's terrible. Depth is an assemblage of worms. Like he clearly is just a writhing mass that is wearing a robe with the white alabaster mask on it. The two of them are very neutral. All the rest of them have these grinning, insane faces.
I would love to wall run and jump off onto his neck and stab him as many times possible. I'm of course going to do an action surge, so you know, 6 attacks.
All right, roll it.
Can I? Okay, so I got 21 on the athletics. I'm assuming I got to do that.
All right, hold on. Let me get here. All right, to yeet yourself up the wall. Okay.
I got 15, 21, 21, 14, 16, and 15. What did any of those hit?
That is 3 hits.
3 hits.
Mm-hmm.
And then 18. Was that 26? That's 26 damage.
Total or 18 and 26?
Total, I think. But there's one thing that's confusing me. I'm going to be real with you. The sword that I was gifted by the gods has 2 damage types, but both of them say slashing, so I'm a little confused. I'm going to be real with you.
One is with 1 hand and one is with 2 hands.
Okay, so I'm guessing the 2-handed is the lower. So then,
the higher damage amount is swinging it with 2 hands.
Yeah, that's
versatile property.
26.
Mm-hmm. As one must be. Okay. So that's 26 off of all 3 hits combined, or just the one?
Yes, correcto mundo.
Okay. You launch into this thing, is slashing at it, and I mean the sword does bite into it. And it just looks at you, and blood falls to the floor like it's a living thing. And it just says, squish, squash, squish, squash. And it, let me see, what has it got to attack? It swings at you once, and misses you, Xander, but swings at you the second time, and very much does get you for 14 points of damage.
Nice. Can I parry that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sick. And that
it was just this gargantuan fist at you. Boom.
I got 9 on that roll.
So you remove 9 points of damage from it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So you take 5 instead. You know, you kind of get your sword up and get out of the way, and it looks at you and it says, good, strong, fight. Karrin and Kerrin, in there. Depth looks at you all and he says, no more words, only death.
Okay, we can work with that. And Kerrin casts Holy Weapon on Karrin's short sword, and Karrin is going to go ahead and take a whack at depth and see what happens here.
All right, roll it.
For freaking real, just a 12.
That is not enough to hit it. Or more accurately, you do hit it, and you just hear just like a squish of worms. Like,
I would really like at any point to ever hit something with my weapons.
I know that feel. Yep. Anything else for it? Because that was a bonus action in your action, correct?
Yeah, basically. I mean,
you
hold on. Actually, let me check that to make sure because I'm not entirely sure I'm supposed to.
a lot's happening now. Take your time. No rush.
That is a bonus action, yes. So that was a bonus action in my action. We're good.
Okay. When you come at him, right after you dodge with this, his eyes light up and two eldritch beams come out. Like, one of them misses very wildly, but the second one does hit Karrin for a big old 2 points of damage. Sorry, a big old 5 points of damage. He like bam, and then he looks at you and says, "I will consume you. You will make me stronger." And his worms start to spread out across the floor, and a whirling black energy goes out from him that you cannot avoid, but you do have a chance to resist. Give me a con save. He is casting a spell. For that, I know sometimes people can do different things. Oh, actually, yes, no, he is casting a spell.
I have advantage against being charmed, though I'm not sure that's what's happening here.
He is not. He's
but
casting
I
a
also have
necromantic spell.
I have advantage on concentration when I let me make my concentration check first to make sure that I kept my holy weapon up.
Okay. Well, he hasn't. Oh, from the Eldritch Blast. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I rolled like 1,000,000, so I'm sure I'm fine on that.
Got it. Yeah. No, the only reason I point this out is if you want to, it is possible to counterspell. I know in the past people are like, can I counterspell that? I'm like, you cannot. In this case,
I don't think I have counterspell, so unfortunately that's not happening. But I did roll a 17 on my con check.
For you, I do not think that. Oh, that is enough actually. But I told you the wrong thing. You can keep that die roll, but it is actually charisma, not con. So you can keep the die roll because that's pretty good.
Oh, in that case, it's even better because then it's a 22.
That is enough to save. However, it is still half damage even on a save. As you feel this just like sickening madness tear through both of you for 12 points of damage.
For each of us, yes?
Yes, for each of you. Necrotic, if that matters. And then Aiden. This thing just looks at you and goes,
Let's go, buddy. Bobbing, weaving. I got my sword out and it glows with a bright angelic energy that is not matched by my smile, which is something much darker. And I'll roll to attack.
All right, roll it.
That's a 21 to hit.
That is enough to hit it.
Excellent. And because I have a certain rakish audacity, I can sneak attack all by myself.
Ooh.
Strong independent rogue.
Let's
see. I mean, I'm going to be calculating a while, I'll be honest with you.
I know life is difficult.
Life is so... these things are sent to try us, Dave.
literally. For the record, Rayonde, you're up next, obviously. If you want to start queuing up what you're going to do. And then after that, we will be back to the top of the round with Xander and Helene. So, I will tell you, Helene, because of what she's done, you are temporarily incapacitated. So something else is going to happen on your turn.
All right, so after I have put a casual 48 damage into my new friend here,
You notice you open like giant, like a giant gash in its side, and the blood comes spilling out. Like you're aware of the fact that you've hurt it badly.
Hey, buddy. Who's laughing now? And I'm bobbing and weaving and using my cunning action to dodge.
All right, so you can give it disadvantage, right?
On all of its attacks with all of those limbs.
All right. What's your current AC?
17.
All right. So you just saved yourself from getting like super lit up. When you say who's laughing now, it just goes and just explodes in a flurry with these blades of yours that you still fairly deftly are moving between, but it does catch you like in the leg and in the arm. It's just like it and you do feel it bite deeply into you. You take every time you feel it hits you, Aiden, the knife hurts, but you've had worse. But you get a stinging blast of psychic pain every time it hits you. Like unpleasant memories and things you don't really want to think about flash into your mind every time the sword bites you. So, for the sake of mitigation, it hits you for 7 and 7 slashing and 8 and 8 psychic, in case you have anything that deals with that. And after it does it, it says, ha, 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 ha. Now we both play hide and go seek, and it disappears.
Then, so as I recall, Uncanny Dodge, it's the whole of the attack, irrespective of damage types. So, was that 15 and 15 per hit?
15 and 15, yeah.
Okay, then I'll take 7 off on that. Uncanny Dodge, thank you.
Okay, all right. Again, you kind of get as soon as that shoulder gets out of the way, but it still catches you in the leg type thing, and then disappears, and you're filled with a very unpleasant sinking feeling that this must be what it's like to fight you. Step, 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 disappear.
It looks better on me.
It's true. It is very rude, very inconsiderate. Rayonde, you see this thing just looks at you with this madness and then just sort of licks its lips and holds the sword like
Right.
and waits for you to do something.
All right, I attack it. Does a 29 hit?
That is enough to hit it, yes.
Okay, so that's 14 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And then I want to use a stunning strike. So it's a DC 17 con save.
All right. Let me pull up the right one here because they're all different. I'm like, wait, I ran out of star spawns. Okay. It needs what con? Sorry.
DC 17 con save.
It does not make it.
All right, so it's stunned. I'm following up with my next attack. I have advantage now.
Okay.
Oh, geez, it's not great. Does a 17 hit it?
It does.
Okay. All right, so that is another 7 plus 11. 21 points of damage because I spent another key point for Death Strike on that one. For my bonus action, I'm going to flurry of blows.
Okay.
So I still have advantage on it. Here's the first of the unarmed attacks.
After this is going to be back to you. We're going to come back to Helene and then Xander at the top of this, by the way, for you to get on deck.
All right, so first punch is 16. Does that hit it?
That is not enough.
Okay. So second punch.
I will say, since it cannot move, you very much hit it, but it just like crunches against the bony protrusion.
I missed on the next one. Holy crap! I'm rolling with advantage. I'm rolling like I got a 1 and a 3 on that last punch. So yeah, I blew my flurry of blows, but I didn't land anything. It's weird. It's like interphasal or something. That's my excuse.
Flurry blew it.
Aiden, do you still have that sneak attack number? I wrote down what I thought it was. I'll make sure I got the right thing.
48.
All right, perfect.
I will remember that in my heart for a long time.
It's gonna remember it in its heart once you cut it out of it. Helene, you are aware of the fact that she's still standing there in front of you, but you can't move. And she says to you, I think you are going to help us. You are going to help move things along much faster. And you see whoosh, a flash of light as she takes you away somewhere else. And we'll come back to you because you will no longer be incapacitated after this round. Xander, you are hitting this thing that is hitting you. And he's like,
we're loving it. He's hitting on me, I'm hitting on him. It's a good time.
We laugh, we cry, we lost.
So I'm going to do another action surge. I'm just like, YOLO. And then I'm going to.
For the record, I just state this out loud. Again, for you all at home also, you can render your first attacks and then decide if you're going to action surge, because there might be times like maybe you kill them in the first one and then you don't want to like waste your action surge. So so you get to like do your actions and then be like, also I action surge and do more actions. It's the same like Paladin Smite. It's the same way. You don't have to declare in advance. You can wait and see how it works out and decide.
Well, we're here
just
now.
pro tip there for the kids at home.
I already pre-rolled because it's just a lot to roll, and I don't know. Just let me know which ones hit. I did get a fancy one. I got a natural 20, which is 32 to hit.
Ooh, well, yeah, that is definitely gonna hit it.
Yes, and then I got 27, 17, 31, 24, 24, and then I used superiority dice with what is it? One of them. I think it's Commander's Strike. No, not that one. My bad. It's another one. Sorry, I literally just had it here. It makes you have another attack.
A lot of new options. I get it.
Yeah, but you hear that? You spend what you're no. You spend relentless.
I very much am, but with this, y'all, they didn't know this was coming.
Great Weapon Master Attack. Great Weapon Master Attack is when you hit with a crit, you get another attack for a bonus action. That. And then there's one more thing where I use a superiority dice to add damage to one of my rolls, which was 3. I can't remember what skill that is. I will tell you one day. I think it was Commander's. No, it wasn't Commander's Strike.
It's gonna be Karrin and Kerrin again after this. We won't be on deck.
Sorry, we're taking so long. Disarm.
No, it's a lot, brother. I get it.
Can that work? Can I disarm his arms?
Not really. He's not carrying anything to take from him.
Well, I mean, we'll pass that.
Like you theoretically could like nerve strike him or something where he's like it's hard to throw a punch, but yeah, use chi blocking on him.
All right, so we'll take that away then. And the damage. Well, which ones hit so I can count?
Those are all hits actually.
All hits. Then that's 97 damage.
97. All right, Xander, you just start teeing off on this thing, and it's like, and you have sliced and diced and cut and slit this thing, and there's places where you can see inside of its body and see its organs pulsating, and it's bleeding catastrophically, and it sort of like drops to one knee a little bit and goes, oh, not fun. Boom, and it tries to smash you against the wall. Give me a dex save.
17.
That is not enough, Xander. It knocks you down and then immediately jumps on top of you and you hear the like ground cracking underneath you as this thing is hitting you, raining blood and slobber all over you. Give me 2 con saves.
I'm just gonna hold my fist. Just hold my arm.
Yep. Give me 2 con saves.
21 and 17.
You are not stunned, but you take 27 points of damage. More specifically, 9, 9, and 9 for the sake of mitigation. As it's like, yeah. But again, you can see it's like breath is coming like labored, and you can see one of its lungs expanding and contracting from where you hit it, but it's still got that same crazy look on its face. It's like squish, squish. Karrin and Kerrin.
Yes, I went ahead and rolled my attack again because I'm going to try with the short sword one more time. Does a 17 hit?
I'm switching through my. That is enough to hit him.
Yay! I can do damage. Woohoo!
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. That would be 7 plus 6, so 13 damage. And then I'm also going to cast Spiritual Weapon. Let's make this a very cute, I don't know, 6th level spiritual weapon, because why the hell not?
If not, they'll win.
I know, right? And the spiritual weapon is going to be this radiant spectral wicker woven bug swatter. And it's going to target the worm swarm. I don't know if I think I've already done my bonus action, so I don't know if I can actually attack with the spiritual weapon as well, since I've already done an attack too. So for now, I've set it up. We'll knock it down next round.
All right. Hang on a second here. All right. He looks at you and he says, "You would destroy us. You should join us instead." And the worms start creeping all over both Karrin and Kerrin, crawling up your legs. Give me a dex save for both of them.
I think they're kind of saying, we already hang out with enough gross boys.
Rude, but not inaccurate.
Dex save, you said? That was a 15.
I'll give you 2 separate ones because this is well, you know what? No, this is something terrible. No, that's the one. You find as you say this, the worms start to crawl up and cover both of you. They cover your arms, your eyes. When you try to talk, they start to move into your mouth. And both twins take 22 points of damage. And you feel they start to bite into you. You feel they start to siphon blood out of you, out of both of you. And you feel he just says to you, "Do not resist. I will make use of your power." And it seems like when he's talking, it's like in your ears, like the worms are talking as this is covering all over you. And then it is Aiden again. It'll be back to Ray. It'll be back to Rayonde. You said this is terrible. Yep.
Is it me or is it Aiden?
It's Aiden, then Rayonde. That's what I was saying. You're on deck. So, and currently your target is hidden, Aiden.
Oh. So hidden, can I pick him up with the monster passive of monstrosity?
Yeah, hide is not invisible. So let's just see. He also rolled awfully. So he is over in a nearby corner. Very much the thing that gives him away, because he's not unskilled at hiding, you just hear a single little drip of blood in the corner hit the pavement.
So I make my way along the wall, get right over him and said, unprofessional. Don't bleed on things. Chink.
Roll it.
That is 27 to hit.
That is enough to hit it.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always so concerned when that's not enough.
I mean, rightly so.
Yeah.
It's just a valid life strategy.
Right? I like to think so, personally. All right. That's 44 damage.
All right.
And not out of a feeling of competitiveness or anything, just to prove that I'm better, I will be hiding hereafter.
You bury your knife in its throat, and it opens its mouth like it wants to say something to you, but you kind of see the blade reflecting in its throat over its vocal cords, and it just slides to the ground, and you hear all 6 daggers clatter.
Okay, now what did these do to my brain? Because I like these. I'm going through the daggers.
Okay. All right, Rayonde, it's your turn.
All right, so this guy is coming out of his stun, and I'm going to stun him again.
All right. I am just stunned.
Okay. I rolled a 4 on that, which I know is not enough, but I'm going to use Unerring Strike to reroll it.
Excellent.
That's a lot better. That's 25 to hit on the next one.
That is enough. I feel like you're like, wait, no, that's that bony thing.
All right.
Nah, it hurts when I hit him up there.
So 12 points of slashing damage from that hit. And I'm going to Stunning Strike on him again. So DC 17 con save for him.
All right. This time he does make that save.
Okay. So my next attack doesn't have an advantage, but I'm going to do another one. All right. So that is 28. So that's a hit.
Yep, that's a hit.
10 points of damage, 10 points of slashing damage from that one.
All right.
And I am going to try to Stunning Strike again. So DC 17.
He did make this. I rolled an 18 both times there on this.
All right. So
even without bonuses.
So Flurry of Blows. First attack. Is a 16.
That is not enough to hit him.
Okay. So second Flurry of Blows attack is a 24.
That is enough. Like you throw the first punch and he gets his sword up to block it, and then the second one goes past and hits him.
Yep. So Stunning Strike on that one.
Okay.
And that one is...
He does not make it. He very much like bang.
Okay. It's another 13 points of damage for that one.
Okay. And you do successfully stun him. And he sort of opens his mouth like he's trying to say something, but it's very much like...
Yeah. I have advantage on that last one then if he's now stunned. I rolled a 2 on it, but I'm gonna now he's stunned. And another 2. All right, so yeah, 12 doesn't hit him. But man, every time I have advantage, I roll like garbage. But he is stunned, and I have a total of what? This is probably like about 40 damage or so.
Yep. No, it took a significant chunk out of him here. He's like banged and bashed. Like you very like bruises and are starting to appear on his gross, decrepit flesh. Helene, give me it's actually you snap out of it, like, and you find yourself in a room that is almost impossibly big. The whole mountain ranges could fit inside of this room.
Hello?
And you do see ice that has small flames dancing all along it. And in the center, you see a gargantuan throne. The throne itself is probably 100 feet tall. And on it, you see a huge form that you cannot quite make out because there is just mist and ice and this bizarre distortion around it. You can make out something is sitting on it. And in the center of all of this is a very large crystal that has a beam coming down into it and then down into the ground. Like some energy is being pulled out of the heavens and driven downwards. And you hear a crystalline, just ringing hum that under different circumstances would not be unpleasant. And you hear Nebula's voice, but you don't see her. And she says, "Now, wizard, I've observed you from some time. I am aware of your recklessness and propensity to shoot first and talk later. I was just wondering if we might interact like reasonable sentients, or must we just go right back into violence where I will simply incapacitate you again and boom, death."
Okay, fine. We'll do it your way. And Helene kind of tilts her staff to the side and then just puts it on her back.
Well, if you don't mind, I'm still going to stay out of view for the time being. I learned a useful trick that was deployed to just ensure honesty. And when she says that, you see a portal open up and you see Depth holding his hand out, and you see Karrin and Kerrin covered in worms. You see them like choking and gagging, and each of them like frantically reaching for their sibling. And you see, although you cannot see his face, you sense genuine pleasure from him as he slightly moves them apart, stopping them from being able to find each other as they sort of struggle and retch. And she says, "I promise you one thing. I will not lie to you. Your other associates have not been ineffective in their combat. Dare I say, some of my champions may actually already be dead, but so may some of yours. And I do believe you care a lot more about them than I care about some random Hulk or Mangler. Wouldn't you agree?"
That is probably true, yes.
I would like you to gaze upon the wonder of what we're doing here and tell me if you can make sense of it. This is not an intelligence test as such. I realize we are quite alien. However, you're different, Helene, and I deeply suspect you may be capable of comprehension. Look, go. I will not interfere.
She'll look.
You can give me an Arcana check.
25.
You sort of take all of this in, Helene, and you realize your years of study honestly is paying off. Everybody kind of gave you really a hard time about being the book kid and always being in the corner reading these ancient arcane formulae when everyone else, it just came to them so easily. You've had to work for every single second of what you've got. But one thing you can do is comprehend the system. And as you're looking at this, you see energy is being taken from the planes, the multiverse, all the different potentialities out there, and being funneled through this crystal and driven downward into the ground. And as you look down, you can see another portal is opening underneath. At first, you were like, well, it's not very big. I'm sure we've got time, until you remember the pure scale of this place. That portal is huge. It's already big enough that it could suck up a whole city and is expanding outwards. And one last thing you realize, that crystal's got something in it. There's something is making it possible to focus this energy. It's like a casing, but not the thing itself.
I relay all that to her.
Ah, yes. And she appears in front of you. She's like, don't bother trying to strike me down. I would simply dispel it, child.
Yeah, I gathered that.
Well, I'm sure you could do the same to me as well. So you might say you and I have a bit of a stalemate, wouldn't you?
Sure.
How is it that you've gotten so much stronger so quickly? When we last met, the blow I struck you back there would have been fatal, and yet you shrugged it off. How?
Maybe you misfired. Maybe you didn't hit me as hard as you thought you did.
Well, should we take up fisticuffs again, I promise to strike truer in the future. Let's say we observe the outcome of your friends and mine, and then we can decide how this is all going to play out, unless, of course, you do in fact wish to continue now.
Why does this need to continue?
Oh, this.
You want to talk in a civil manner, but you're hurting my friends. Why don't you just bring them here? Call your goons off.
Are you surrendering on their behalf? And for the first time ever, you do make out like a fully formed face in what is otherwise this just sort of swirling star stuff. She does very much look at you like,
it's not a surrender. You said you wanted to talk. I'm giving you what you want.
The problem is, we've been watching you for some time. I know what you're thinking. You'll get your friends out of bondage. They'll pull some kind of bizarre Hail Mary, and then we will go back to do battle. You'll disrupt our experiment. You'll save both worlds. I know what you think. What's in it for me, Helene? Why should I let them live?
I can't make that reason to someone who doesn't even care about the players on their own side.
I am prepared to hear how things occur to you, though. This is a useful learning experience. Soon we will rule over all of Toril as well, and I must have some insight into the thought processes of the subjects, as it were.
I don't owe you anymore.
They're
still in there. You get them out, I'll tell you more.
Depth, darling. You see, he does turn his head and look right at you. She says if we spare them, that they will talk. It's almost certainly a trap. We've spent too much time with them talking. Well, yes, but think of it this way. If you simply kill them now, their friends won't get to experience that delightful je ne sais quoi that comes with loss. Or so I've been told. That is accurate. Yes, Helene, I told you. I will not lie to you.
And Helene just huffs and turns back and just stares at her friends and crosses her arms. Doesn't say a word.
Let us see what they want. However, Xander, it is actually your turn, and you're completely unaware of all of this. You were on the ground with this thing cackling maniacally, raining blows down on you.
Yeah, ain't nothing but a peanut. All right, so I'd like to attack 3 more times.
All right, roll it.
Is a reversal counted as an attack? How's that work? Can I do a reversal? You know what
I
I'm talking about.
mean,
It's on.
yeah,
It's
you
on top of me, right?
you would have to use one of your attacks as a grapple. Technically, you would have to use 2 of your attacks. You need to grapple it and move it, which in this case would be yeet. Right? Yeah. Yeah.
I'd like to push my hand out,
Mhm.
get enough space to just start stabbing the crap out of it
Mhm.
in the goods.
I will say you have to attack with it one-handed until you hit, and then that'll free you up with enough space to sort of like go with 2.
I actually pre-rolled. I have. I'll tell you in the notes because it's right there. 28, 25, and a 20.
Those are all hits. Dirty 20 or natural?
Dirty, all dirty.
Yeah. Yep.
All
No, those are all hits then.
And then I got. Let me just roll the damage real quick. I have a 14, and then you said the other ones will be two-handed, or?
Yep, and then two-handed.
I like that. Yes, I do. 16 and 9. So 14, 16,
you described to me how you kill this thing, Xander.
I'm glad you asked. So I like to just like stab it twice into like the gut and like where it's like kind of the scar, just really open it up real nice and wide, and then just let that kind of just all come out and air to the world, and then pull my sword back and just go straight through the throat right here. And if I could, kind of go like in here and like lace it, like like you lace your shoes, lace it through here, through the bottom of the jaw, and just all the way through the the good stuff.
And you do hear a satisfying crunch as you at the top.
Perfect.
And it just looks down at you and goes falls over to the side dead.
And then I wipe my sword off and just kind of sit back in the cell and relax.
Except for the fetid stench, it's awesome in here. A victory.
No fear.
However, in a place that is not at all wonderful, Karrin in Kerrin.
Can you roll an intelligence save for me, please?
I can.
DC is 18.
He does not make it. So what had happened?
He can take 44 psychic damage as Karrin and Kerrin unleash a psychic scream on him at 9th level. And he, let's see, and he's stunned.
44, you say?
44.
He hold on a second here.
At the end of each of his turns, he can make another intelligence saving throw, but for now, he is stunned.
All right, hold on. Let me just see one thing here.
I'd like to think that somewhere I know that this stunning has happened, and
they're putting that bucket training to good use.
You're very much proud. Both of them give me dex saves again. They both take 22 necrotic damage as the worms are continuing to feed on them. But give me 2 dex saves.
Well, one was a 21.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was only a 7.
One of them escapes the worms. And the other one is still very much restrained and being fed upon.
Okay, and then I would like to make my spiritual weapon bonus attack, please.
Okay.
Let's get this bug swatter in here.
Well, yeah, you could do it as a bonus action. Technically, this happens before you get out of the bugs, because you make the save at the end of your turn.
Right. So that's an 18 for the bugs.
That is enough to hit him.
Cool. And I believe that is 3d8. So let me go ahead. That is going to be 19 damage on the spiritual weapon.
All right. It does cut into him, and it like splits down into the robe, and you can see like some of the worms are revealed now. Helene, Nebula looks at you and says, "Oh, aren't they formidable? One of them is loose. Depth might be in trouble."
Helene just looks at her and goes, and turns back and looks towards her friends and crosses her arms.
Yes, aren't you a disagreeable girl? I like you, though. I think I'm going to keep you. Aiden, you are in this room with no doors.
I am, and I have many more knives than I had before. So I think overall, this day, maybe not going so bad. I wouldn't mind, however, maybe taking a look around, given that I've been, look, have I been in a jail cell with no doors? No. Can doors be made? Probably. Like, these things can happen, right? For the right people. So this feels like maybe I need to just look around, see what I've got, put some thief skills to good use, if I had those, which obviously I don't. I'm just
No,
a
I
great
mean,
servant
you know,
person.
you just learn them like,
Right.
Incidentally type thing.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Incidentally, I should remember.
Give me a sleight of hand check.
Oh, beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Because your passive perception is already pretty high. There are no doors.
Yeah. All right. Ooh, nice. 28.
Is you're sort of like moving your hands along the stone here, you realize that you now could hear Xander with his like war whoop when he kills his opponent in the next room. You are aware that Xander is in a cell essentially to your left, and that Rayonde is in a cell to your right and is still fighting in his. But as far as you can tell, beyond the fact that they're on the other side of this wall, there are no passages. There are no doors. There are no windows. It is solid on all sides.
The fact that I can hear them can give me some inference about the thickness of the wall. I've never thought about this sort of thing ever. But
I mean,
it's coming to
purely
me now.
purely
Right,
theoretically.
purely
Yeah.
theoretically. Like, you can hear the difference between, like, this is 3 feet of solid stone and this is some glorified drywall. What are we feeling here? Because, like, look, do I have anything better to do with my time?
You're thinking it's probably in the 3-ish feet arena.
Dang.
Like it's thick. I said what I said.
Yeah, you did. All right. Seeing no immediate exit and plundering my former less professional colleague within an inch of his Okay, that was just insensitive. I guess I'm gonna kick back into it and lean over toward the Xander wall. Finished yours yet?
Oh, I've been done. I don't know if you can hear me. if we can hear each other, that's
Yeah, I would just vaguely, just kind of like just a little bit. You can kind of hear each other.
I'm yelling. Are you finished yet, Aiden?
I finished forever ago.
God, that's impossible because I finished forever ago.
Rayonde, you who are very much fighting, hear them through the walls, essentially arguing with each other over who won the fastest.
This is really embarrassing. However, I have not been touched yet.
And your opponent is very much stunned. It is your turn.
All right. So he becomes unstunned at the.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna stun lock him again. So 26 to hit on that.
That is enough.
All right. So it takes 7 points of slashing damage from that, and I need my stunning strike save.
He does not make it.
All right. So the next attack is I rolled with advantage, assuming he's stunned, and 19 is the higher of the two.
Also enough.
Okay, so he takes another 8 points of damage from that, and then I spend another key point to Death Strike, and then he takes another 13 points from that on that attack.
What does Death Strike do?
I spend a key point and I add another D10.
Oh yeah, you just hit harder. Okay.
Yeah, I just drive the sword in.
You described to me this creature's death.
I'm just being really patient with him. Every time he tries to make a move, I wait for the right moment and I just stun him, and then I take a few hits on him, and then I wait until he's just about to kind of come out of it, and I stun him again. And then at the end of it, I just turn around, like I turn my back to him as he drops.
You see, as he sort of like falls to his knees there with his ribs and bones all broken, he finally opens his mouth and just says, "It's not fair. You don't fight fair." And slumps forward, dead.
I just receive my sword. Okay, so I may have finished third out of the two of you, but I felt like maybe I was just, I was pacing myself, all right?
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
And in the other room, Kerrin and Karrin are just like, what do you want to bet we're the last ones to finish?
I was about to say, Aiden, as you guys are kind of like joking about who kind of got it done first, it occurs to you, you do not hear Helene and you do not hear Karrin and Kerrin.
Hey, Rayonde, has Helene finished?
Helene, are you done, honey?
No reply. And a distinct lack of explosions and lightning. One thing she's not is subtle. Like you would think there'd be like dust coming from the ceiling.
I think we know. So that means that either she's won effortlessly or she's very far away, which I don't like the latter option. But I mean, there's no door in the room that I'm in. Is that what your room is like?
Yeah, nope, definitely no doors. Xander, do you have ears on Kerrin and Karrin? How's it going with them?
Karrin?
You can give me perception with disadvantage for the twins, because one of them is very much occupied and the other one is very much frantically concentrating on trying to help them.
Oh man. You said
how do you feel about it?
No, for him. I mean, for the twins.
Yeah,
no, for the twins.
Yeah. Oh. How do you feel about 29?
Yeah, then you hear him, you hear that, yes.
So Kerrin is like, worms, lots of worms. Karrin is getting eaten, lots of worms.
Oh, that's gross. Do I hear which way that's coming from?
Yeah, the far side of
the not Aiden side.
Yeah, the not Aiden side.
Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys okay?
I repeat, Karrin is getting eaten, lots of worms.
Yeah, but like, in what phase of the eating?
Xander, what's going on?
Helene, you standing there with Nebula looking at this through the portal, she says, again, in the interest of honesty and cooperation, your friends, others have all defeated their captors and other portals open. And you see Xander sort of like against the wall, kind of figuring things out. You can see that Rayonde is calling for you, looking around. And that Aiden also, upon hearing that the twins are in trouble, is becoming more concerned. And she looks at you and she says, this is actually my favorite part. There's quite no way out of those cells. They will slowly starve and go mad. They'll start to realize they've got nothing to eat except the foes they've slain. Past a certain point, they'll actually wish they had died on their swords rather than experience the slow, withering death that lay ahead, except for that one who is bound to be worm food soon. I suppose they're worm food already. How do you think we should proceed, wizard?
Oh no, I think that's a brilliant idea. You let all the people who are the only ones who know the answers to the question you have die, and then nobody wins. No, it's a perfect plan.
I think you greatly overestimate the extent of my curiosity, and also as I feel like you have determined we've already won. The question is whether or not you will have a prominent place on the winning team or not, or that you yourself will end up like them. I like you personally. Otherwise, I would have just left you there at the time.
And you'll let them go. Then no deal.
I am prepared to allow them out of the cells. I already know what they think is going to happen. You'll come out and have some glorious ambush and defeat the horrific nebula, squash the terrible depth. It will not be so simple. But I am curious. So if you can corral them slightly at least, I am prepared to allow them to escape.
I don't understand.
I will let them out as long as they don't immediately try and take my head. I'm quite fond of it, you know. Many millennia has taken me to arrive at this form, and I do believe it has achieved perfection. And when she says that, the mouth across her waist gives you a huge smile.
Right. Yeah, I'll tell them not to shoot you.
I think you're still being tricky. Depth. Stop eating that one for now. I think something interesting's about to happen. This young one thinks she's luring me into a trap, but her thinking she was trapping me is what got them trapped here. So I'm interested to see how long it takes them to figure out. In your room, Karrin and Kerrin, the worms begin to drop off. And the worms that make up the mass of depth also collapse to the floor. In all of your cells, doors appear. The stones just slide open in an impossible manner into alcoves that don't exist, into a long, sprawling white hallway.
I go into the hallway.
You hear coughing and gagging as worms are being retched up in a nearby cell.
Hey, you okay? You okay? What's going on?
And Karrin actually just basically like practically climbs on Xander and just like holds on.
Hugs.
Those have low nutritional value, buddy. Can't
Not
do that.
Not exactly their fault. They sort of crawled up onto us. We were fighting depth of all people.
I mean, look, I applaud you for the brutal consumption of your own enemy, but don't you think it's a bit much?
Kerrin just punches Aiden in the arm. Cut it out.
Careful with face. Huh? Where are we?
I don't know. Anybody else hurt? We got banged up pretty bad.
I haven't seen Helene yet.
I don't think Helene is here. The entire part, some of while we were fighting, could we actually hear Depth speaking to Nebula?
You absolutely could. You didn't see the portal, but you could like see him turn his head and was saying something.
Depth was talking to someone. I think Nebula. I think she was trying to make a deal with us, with Nebula for us. It's probably what got us out of here. Karrin hasn't said a word.
Helene, they're standing near this machine in this giant seated figure. You see Nebula just looks at you and she's like, a deal's a deal. There you go. Step on through. You'll be reunited with your friends.
I want them here.
Oh, I'm sure you do, but you're in no position to bargain. There you go. Oh, and dear child, the next time we meet will be the last one.
For
And
you,
she
maybe.
just motions
And I
towards the
walk
portal.
through.
You all see Helene appears there in the hallway with all of you.
Were you here the whole time? Because that was good stuff. If that's true, that is professionalism. See, Xander, that's how you do it. That's how you just appear out of nowhere. Well done. Hey, you all right?
Does it look like there's a way out of the hallway that I just walked into?
Just extends off into the distance in both directions.
Yeah, I think we're trapped.
Well, I mean, there's a way we haven't been yet. That way.
Maybe a dumb magic? Does magic do things here? I'm just gonna ask all the time, because I don't know.
I think now might be a time to do that thing. Helene says to the twins.
Yeah, we were able to do magic in there. Yeah.
You okay?
Helene, you very much see dozens, maybe hundreds of bites all over them from the scene you very much witnessed. It is all over their face, all over their arms, all over their hands.
You should probably take care of that. That looks rough. Nonetheless, if we're gonna get out of here, guys, we should probably do it fast. And
run now, heal later.
Nebula's watching.
Let's see. I think I still have a spell slot for this. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and cast Plane Shift, and we're going home. So Kerrin and Karrin each grab their boys' hands respectively and gesture that everybody else hold hands as well. I imagine that Kerrin and Karrin on the sides opposite of each other so that Aiden and Xander can also hold hands. But yeah, just
appreciate you.
Yep.
I mean, what?
So thoughtful.
We know how this works.
We don't.
The twins have figured it out.
Figured what out? We have no idea. Plane shift.
But yeah, I cast plane shift so that we can go back to Toril.
Before we go, guys.
Oh, yeah.
There's something by Nebula. It was like a crystal or something that was. It was like a giant machine. It was powered by something, and Helene will do her best to describe what it was that she figured out, which the roll was a bit ago, and it was a pretty in-depth explanation. So I will rely on our DM to recap what that was that she figured out.
A gargantuan, incomprehensibly large machine that was pulling energy from all of the planes and condensing it through a crystal that contained something that was focusing it into a beam that was driving down into the earth, and she could see Toril through the hole that was forming underneath, and there was a gargantuan figure seated on a throne that she could not make out.
And there was another portal, and it just kept growing. I thought it was smaller at first, but it probably about the size of a city and getting bigger.
Is this all part of the Unite the Two Worlds thing that they've got going on.
I think it has to be.
So if
What's the machine?
I know. I'm just worried that if we leave here, that maybe we didn't do what Tia asked us to do.
So you think we're supposed to stay?
I mean, it sounds like we're supposed to destroy that thing.
We can hold on to this spell until we're actually ready to leave. Yeah, that's not a problem.
Maybe stay on this plane, but just not in this particular place.
What?
I don't.
In these walls, out of these walls. Let's just go somewhere else.
I don't think our spell works that way. Unfortunately, we haven't studied any teleportation circles for this area either, so that's not going to work.
We need a plan. We need a rest and a plan
Explode the
before
wall.
we can go after her.
Make a hole in the wall. Get out of the building. Plan.
I mean, we could fly out of here if we can make a wall, right?
Plan with explosions.
And
Yeah.
flying.
I
Sounds
kind of
like
just
her,
do
right?
little pokey fingers at Helene's tummy. Try to cheer her up a bit.
Yeah, that. Thank you. Yes. No, that sounds like a plan to me. But whatever it is, yeah, we just need to prepare.
All right, so you did the exploding part of the beginning. That's your niche.
Precisely.
I think everybody should stand back in the rooms.
Okay.
Come on, Xander. Let's get out of the way and let the specialist do her work. And
Fire
tell
in
me
the
what a
hole.
machine is. They never said.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pretend I know what it means.
I don't know.
And the twins are just going to whisper an explanation of what a machine is to the boys. Just get them up to speed.
All right. I don't get it.
Lots of things are
Wait,
machines.
I think I might have something. And she'll try and cast pass wall. You are muted, B. Dave.
Which way do you want to go? Do you want to go through one of the cells, through the bottom of the floor, go up through the ceiling?
Which way should we go, you guys? What do you think?
We have a floating citadel. Let's go down.
Down feels good. Can I make a crime roll?
Yeah, you can make sleight of hand.
Cool.
I mean, any direction will eventually be right.
34. 34 for crime. Incidental knowledge.
How good was your crime?
Oh, I did 34 crime. I mean, incidental knowledge.
Incidental crime, theoretical crime,
Incidental
not
knowledge.
actual crime, but I mean, like you know, you've heard a lot of crime stories over the years.
You hear things, you know, a guy,
Right.
You do a jailbreak. What now?
You feel like you're kind of like, if I were going to rob this place in a purely theoretical manner, of course, I'd do it right here. Since 30 is an impossible task and you just got a 34, you're like, maybe here, like at a nice diagonal slope, like down-ish.
So if you can just angle it like that, it will be just like that time that I heard about once.
Yep. So Aiden points out which place to cast it. Are you going to do it, Helene?
Yeah, Helene will walk over and do what she does, her little magic circle with her hands, and cast it.
You see, when she does it this time, something you all haven't seen is she starts saying the words, but the staff that you're not accustomed to glows. And she touches it to the floor, and it's like ice melts. Even though it's stone, it's like it creates a perfect cylinder about 8 feet long that still is more stone at the bottom. You think this is a pretty dense place. You might have to do it more than once. But it is perfect. Like it's just been bored clean through.
Helene will keep doing it a couple more times just to get all the way through. She's like, this is the first time I've used this. It's very weird.
It's pretty cool.
Into ice.
I could do so much with this. Theoretically.
Cool stick. I mean, I admit I was nonplussed at first, but I'm very impressed with the stick.
It will only take 2, so we'll take just 10 of your charges, so you don't have to use it all up. The second time is like, and again, it's like, just opens up right there in front of you. And you feel like there is still a very, very thin veneer of ice right at the end of it. Your perception was essentially perfect, Aiden, to get you all right to the limit without just like punching through automatically. And as you all make your way down this descending slope, you do hear a crystalline ringing, like what Helene had heard previously.
That's it. That's the sound. That's the sound of the crystal, the thing.
So this means we're closer to the machine, so we can maybe take a left or a right or Aiden.
Yeah, right now, at this exact second, you all are essentially at the end of this tunnel that Helene has formed with essentially this like very thin veneer of the wall, which you're aware, just because you can hear it, but you haven't seen it yet, is on the other side of this wall. In which Helene explained to you, this room was gargantuan, though. Like mountains could fit inside of it. It's so big because this building is the size of a continent.
So we could kind of fall from the sky, is what I'm getting from just the description you're giving me, Helene.
Yeah.
Helene, how many people can you do your flying magic on?
I might be able to get us all.
I mean, you may not need to. And I point down to my boots, and I'm wearing boots that have little wings on the ankles.
What if we want to add an element of surprise?
We're falling out of the sky. Surprise.
We could wind walk and all be fart clouds together.
Okay, we have to do that. That's the best idea either who has ever had.
I have too much pride for that.
Rayonde.
Be the fart you want to let loose in the world, my friend.
I never. It's Dragonborn physiology does not allow for it.
Do it, Helene. Do it now. Do it.
That we have.
We all have to agree to it.
Do we though? And Helene cast it.
Are you going to hit everybody with gaseous form?
100%.
Okay. I
can resist it, right?
You can. Yep.
I choose to resist it and not be farty.
Let's see. Although I feel like
that's just farty in a different way.
The twins were.
Yeah, Windwalk is a slightly different spell that doesn't actually turn us into farts. It just turns us into mists that move at 300 feet per round and are really fast and cool. But you
don't have to be cool or fast. It's fine. That's not really your thing as a monk anyway. Fast or cool.
I've got boots to do it.
They did say out loud that we could wind walk, which is not gaseous form. So is Rayonde resistant to wind walk?
No. The twins I trust. It's Helene who has a predisposition for the fartological.
Yeah, and I can just cast that at will from one of my beads, so we can all turn into. We are a gaseous form, but you can choose not to be a stinky one.
It's true. Be the gas you wish to see in the world. You clutch this bead, and you all to your assorted clouds, and make your way out through a crevice on the wall there from where Helene had cracked it right to the edge. And you come out into this huge room, this cavernous room, and you see this entity sitting on the throne there. And Xander, it opens its eyes, and it's got the bluing eyes that you saw before. And you see this crystal there in the middle of the laser coming down and drilling into the ground, which is opened up enough that you can look down into it, and you can clearly see a city of some sort underneath. You see people walking around, and they're like looking up at the sky, like clearly they can see this too, and they're starting to panic. And Nebula appears standing next to the crystal, and Depth appears up there also, and she says, "Well, aren't you all tricky? But that's all right. We've had experience with tricksters before." And she touches the gem, and it turns transparent. And inside, you see a figure suspended, screaming as all of this energy comes down and is pumped through them. You see Averin there, shackled. And that is a good place for us to stop. Join us next week for the finale of season 2 of Dungeons and Dragons: A Darkened Wish, when we will be joined by Averin himself, Mr. Todd Kenrick. And we will see you then. Bye.